everyone, it's Calvin, and I just went through the first 10 hours of Persona 5 Royal, and I would like to talk about it. While it's not enough to actually give a score to a game or give a full impression of a game, I really feel like I can talk about at least like the first bit of the game and how I feel about it as a huge Persona fan, and maybe talk about where I think it's going to go in the future. But also at the same time, this is not going to have any story spoilers whatsoever, and also I will probably update you guys in a few weeks on how I feel about the game. Maybe another few hours into, or maybe another 20 hours past this as well. But I can safely say, if you want to click off this video right now, that the changes made in this game so far are changes that I think I didn't know were needed, but now I can't really imagine combat, the dungeon, or even the minor story points that have changed so far. I can't really imagine the game without them now. And that's high praise from a person that loves Persona. Now, Atlus loves doing this, Persona loves doing this, where they re-release one of the Persona games with new additions to it, and they usually do add a lot to the game. I think, you know, a lot of us will think of Persona 4 Golden. For me, while some changes I think to a lot of outside people are going to seem minor, to Persona fans I think they're going to seem very major. I think that this redo of the game was not made for people who did not like Persona 5. If you did not like Persona 5, you're not going to like this, I'm guessing. I'm just fully guessing that you're probably not going to like this, because a lot of it stays the same. They're not going to take out the things that aren't broken. They're not going to do that. A lot of it stays the same. I think this game was made for diehard Persona fans, people who maybe played 20 hours of Persona and then didn't find the time to finish it, or maybe people that never played Persona before. This is a perfect place, I think, to jump in and try and grasp the game. While I haven't seen all of the changes, they have said that there's going to be new cutscenes, new characters, a new dungeon apparently, a mass amount of gameplay tweaks, story tweaks, new places to explore in the city, new scenes to flesh out existing characters, which I have seen, tweaks to enemies, new music, and a whole new semester to have fun in. I have seen new characters, new cutscenes. I have seen all the tweaks to enemies, not all of them. I've seen some of the tweaks to enemies. I don't know if there's going to be more going forward. I haven't seen them. I've seen some new scenes to flesh out characters as well, and that's what I've seen so far. But I am excited, as you can see, to see what they're going to do next. Getting it out of the way, let's talk about the visuals very quickly. Yes, the visuals are updated. Yes, the resolution is higher in this version of the game. And here's the thing, it does make it look more crisp, more clean, more clear, I think. But really, the art style is still pretty similar to the original game, but the original game looks beautiful, so I don't think it's that much of a problem whatsoever. I think the game still looks gorgeous. They implemented a new character, as you guys probably know, called Kasumi, and I will say that so far her implementation has been subtle. It has been subtle, apart from maybe like one or two things, but I think that the way they're implementing her not only makes me want to play more of this game that I've already played twice before, but now also makes me more intrigued to know more about this character as well. She has been fantastic. She has stood out. Believe it or not, in a game that has so many characters, a new character has been able to stand out, and that's impressive. That really is impressive. Not going to go into much about what she says or what she does because I feel like that's a spoiler, but I can say that I do like how she's implemented so far. The new scenes I saw so far actually are really fantastic. And I say fantastic, you're probably like, oh, he's just using the word fantastic just to like use a buzzword. No. The scene that I saw, clearly just the tip of the iceberg of the new scenes. The scene that I saw kind of like took this existing character and changed my whole perspective of that character. This new scene took one of the existing characters that was a minor side character and actually made me think differently about who they were. Because originally I thought this one way of them, and then when I saw that scene I was like, oh my god. This makes them, it's such a tiny thing, but it makes them way more, not interesting because they're already interesting, but it makes them way more of like a person. And to me, that's always a good thing. In any video game, in any medium, any story, it makes them much better in my opinion. One of the main things, the dungeon that I went through the first dungeon of the game. I beat the first dungeon of the game. It was pretty revamped. It wasn't completely revamped. The layout is pretty much the same, of course it is. The dungeons I thought in Persona 5 were some of my favorites in any JRPG series ever. They add little flares. Stuff for like traversal, getting around these areas. And again, I don't know if I want to spoil this mechanic, but like it is like a really cool new way of getting around the world that makes it so much fun, so different from what the original way you would do it. And there actually is like, you can still do it the original way, but they kind of like give you the option of using this new awesome way to traverse around the place. They added new reward items that also help the dungeon feel more fun to go through. Now that like I'm exploring, trying to find these reward items, like it makes it feel like there's more to do in the actual dungeons. It's not just a dungeon to go through and like fight enemies and have little fun interactions and cutscenes. I actually found it to be really rewarding, because sometimes rewards in video games, especially when they're added later on, they don't feel that good to get. But in this case, these items that you're collecting through this world do actually feel good to collect, which I think is hard. It's hard to really pull off, but in this it does feel good. I can say that like when collecting these certain items, there was kind of like almost a necessity, but like obviously you did need them, but there was this feeling that like I wanted them, I really did need them, and that's something I can definitely put as a mark up for this game. It also like helps that I feel like this dungeon is just more fun to go through with those elements, and also there's like new enemy types as well, which I wasn't expecting whatsoever, but there it is, a new enemy type. Again, I want you, and again, I know you're probably like, Calvin, you can spoil that aspect of it. No. If you're looking to play Persona 5 and you've played Persona 5, the original Persona 5 first, I don't want to be the guy that spoils that for you. It was a surprise for me, it was a beautiful shock, and I think that you guys would like it too. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, the new battle theme that's starting debates all over Twitter. I heard it for the first time a few months back, but I didn't listen to it in full, and in this game I stopped right in my tracks in one of the original dungeons, the original, like, tutorial dungeon, and just listened to it. I just listened to the music. I love Last Surprise, and that is still here in this game, but I feel like the new song is way more suited to a battle theme. And I think that if you're hearing one song for 100 hours in your original playthrough, and then another 100 hours in your second playthrough like I was, believe it or not, a new battle theme it's a godsend. It's really great to hear a new song. And it helps that the music is actually really freaking great in this game. A lot of the music stays the same because a lot of it, once again, and I think a lot of people aren't going to understand this, the people that weren't going to play the game anyway, they're like, oh, it's just the same thing. A lot of stuff has to stay the same because the vibes of Persona 5 have to stay intact in some ways. When you're going around, you still have to hear Beneath the Mask. Like, I'm sorry, if you play Persona 5 and you never heard Beneath the Mask as you're walking around in the rain, I'm sorry. Like, that's just one of the best things about Persona 5. You need to hear Beneath the Mask. A lot of things are going to stay the same. I can see this already. The majority of this game stayed the same, but it's the little implementations and sometimes bigger implementations in the game so far in the first 10 hours that have really made the difference. And what I will say is, as you guys know, this game is 100 hours long plus, because the original one was 100 hours. Adding all the new content, we're going to get so much more. And I can imagine that if already I'm seeing this much change to the game, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next.